In the last episode, Alex and his team on Elysium were reeling from the aftermath of Archon's brutal counterattacks and the weight of their own losses. A cryptic message from Aethereia's resistance had reached them, revealing a shocking revelation that Archon's environmental manipulations had triggered a catastrophic tipping point, threatening to destroy Aethereia's fragile ecosystem within weeks. My heart still racing from the memories, I stood on the edge of Elysium's hangar, gazing out into the starry expanse, my mind consumed by the weight of our mission. The silence was broken by Maya's voice, her words laced with a mix of urgency and desperation. "We're running out of time, Alex. Aethereia's on the brink of collapse." I turned to face her, my eyes locking onto the determined look etched on her face. "What's the plan, then? We can't just sit back and watch Aethereia burn." "We've managed to establish a tentative communication channel with Aethereia's resistance," Maya said, her eyes scanning the area as if searching for potential threats. "They're willing to share crucial information about the planet's hidden energy signature and ancient artifacts tied to Lyra's biotechnology. That was the spark I needed. Let's get to work. We'll need to move fast and we'll need to be smart." Vega, Erebus, and Kale gathered around us, their faces set with determination. "We're in this together," Alex said, his voice firm. "We'll navigate treacherous landscapes, avoid Thrakos' relentless pursuit, and forge an unlikely alliance with Aethereia's rebels." The plan began to take shape, and with it, a sense of purpose that I hadn't felt in a long time. We'll start by gathering intel on Archon's operations, identifying vulnerabilities in his environmental manipulations. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of approaching footsteps. "Alex, we've got a message from Aethereia's resistance," Vega said, handing me a comms device. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for what was to come. "Put it through." The device crackled to life and a low, gravelly voice spoke, its words sending a shiver down my spine. "Alex, this is Kalen of Aethereia's resistance. We've been expecting you." A pause, and then, "Archon's done something terrible. The terraforming device. It's not just altering the environment, it's awakened something ancient, something that could destroy Aethereia's ecosystem irreparably." My heart sank. "What are you talking about?" The voice on the other end hesitated before responding. "The devouring. An ancient force dormant for millennia. It's been triggered by Archon's meddling." The words hung in the air, heavy with foreboding. I knew then that our mission had just become a lot more complicated and a lot more urgent previously. Alex and his team on Elysium received a cryptic message from Aethereia's resistance, revealing that Archon's environmental manipulations had triggered a catastrophic tipping point, threatening to destroy Aethereia's fragile ecosystem within weeks. As they regrouped and tended to their wounds, they vowed to spearhead a daring mission to prevent ecological disaster and dismantle Archon's grip on Aethereia. I stood frozen, the comms device still clutched in my hand as the weight of Kalen's words crushed me. The devouring. An ancient force awakened by Archon's meddling. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. The stakes had just escalated to a whole new level. "Maya, we need to get to work on that intel immediately," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "We can't waste any more time." Maya nodded, her eyes locked onto mine. "I'm on it, Alex. I'll start digging into Archon's operations, see if I can find any patterns or weaknesses we can exploit." As Maya disappeared into the depths of Elysium, I turned to the rest of the team. "Vega, Erebus, and Kale, we need to start making preparations for our insertion into Aethereia. We'll need to be stealthy, stay one step ahead of Thrakos, and find a way to reach Aethereia's rebels before Archon's forces do." Vega nodded, his eyes gleaming with a fierce intensity. "I've got a plan for getting us onto the planet undetected. Let me work on the logistics." Erebus stepped forward, his massive frame radiating a sense of calm. "I'll start gathering supplies and gear. We'll need everything we can get to take on Archon's forces." Kale, ever the tech whiz, nodded enthusiastically. "I'll hack into Archon's systems, see if I can gather any intel on their operations and find a way to disable their defenses." As the team dispersed to start making preparations, I felt a sense of determination wash over me. We were in this together, and we would stop at nothing to save Aethereia. I made my way to the hangar, my mind racing with the implications of the devouring. What was this ancient force, and how could we possibly stop it? I knew that our mission had just become a whole lot more complicated, but I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As I entered the hangar, I was greeted by the familiar sight of our ships, their sleek hulls and glowing engines a beacon of hope in the darkness. I knew that we still had a long way to go, but with my team by my side, I felt a growing sense of confidence. We would find a way to defeat Archon, stop the devouring, and save Aethereia. The question was, at what cost? With the team busy making preparations, I took a moment to step away and collect my thoughts. I found myself standing outside the hangar, gazing up at the starry expanse. The vastness of space seemed to stretch out before me, a reminder of the enormity of our task. As I stood there, lost in thought, I felt a gentle touch on my arm. It was Maya, her eyes shining with a quiet determination. "Alex, I've found something," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Archon's environmental manipulations have created a rift in Aethereia's energy signature. If we can tap into that rift, we might be able to harness the planet's power to stop the devouring." I turned to her, my heart racing with excitement. "What do you mean? How can we tap into that rift?" Maya smiled, a hint of mischief in her eyes. "Leave that to me. I've got a plan, and it's going to require some creativity." I raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "What kind of creativity?" Maya just winked. "You'll see. Trust me, Alex, we're going to change the game." And with that, she disappeared into the shadows, leaving me to wonder what she had planned. But I knew one thing for certain: with Maya on the job, we were in for a wild ride. Previously, Alex and his team received a cryptic message from Aethereia's resistance, revealing that Archon's environmental manipulations had triggered a catastrophic tipping point, threatening to destroy Aethereia's fragile ecosystem within weeks. As they regrouped and tended to their wounds, they vowed to spearhead a daring mission to prevent ecological disaster and dismantle Archon's grip on Aethereia. "We're not just fighting for Aethereia's survival, we're fighting for its very soul," I whispered to myself, the weight of our mission crushing me. The devouring, an ancient force awakened by Archon's meddling, loomed like a specter over the planet, threatening to consume everything in its path. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the challenge ahead. Maya's words still echoed in my mind. We had a plan to tap into Aethereia's energy signature, harnessing the planet's power to stop the devouring. But at what cost? The stakes had never been higher. "All right, team," I called out, gathering my scattered thoughts. "We have a new mission briefing. Maya's discovered a rift in Aethereia's energy signature, and we're going to tap into it to harness the planet's power. Vega, can you get us to the rift site without being detected?" Vega nodded, his eyes scanning the horizon. "I've got a route planned. We'll need to move fast, though. Thrakos won't be far behind. Kale, can you hack into Archon's systems, find out what kind of defenses they have around the rift site?" I asked, my mind racing with the implications of our plan. Kale's fingers flew across his console, his brow furrowed in concentration. "Working on it, Alex. Give me a minute." Erebus, ever the pragmatist, spoke up. "What about the rebels, Alex? We can't do this without their help. Who's going to make contact?" I turned to Maya, who had been quietly observing the exchange. "Maya, can you reach out to the rebels, coordinate our meeting?" Maya nodded, a hint of a smile on her lips. "I've already made contact, Alex. They're waiting for us. But we need to move now. Time is running out." With a deep breath, I gave the order. "Let's move out, team. We've got a planet to save." We set off into the unknown, our ships hurtling through the cosmos, the fate of Aethereia hanging precariously in the balance. The devouring loomed large, its presence felt in every corner of the planet. But we had a plan, and we had each other. As we approached the rift site, I could feel the energy building, the air crackling with anticipation. We were about to embark on a journey that would change the course of Aethereia's history and our own. "Maya, "What's the status on the rift?" I asked, my heart pounding in my chest. "It's growing, Alex," Maya replied, her voice tense. "We need to move now." With a deep breath, I gave the signal. "Let's do this, team. Let's harness the power of Aethereia and take back our planet." The fate of Aethereia hung in the balance, and we were the only ones who could tip the scales previously. Alex and his team received a dire warning from Aethereia's resistance, revealing that Archon's environmental manipulations had triggered a catastrophic tipping point, threatening to destroy the planet's fragile ecosystem within weeks. As they regrouped and tended to their wounds, they vowed to spearhead a daring mission to prevent ecological disaster and dismantle Archon's grip on Aethereia. "We're not just fighting for Aethereia's survival, we're fighting for its very soul," I whispered to myself, the weight of our mission crushing me. As we hurtled towards the rift site, the air grew thick with anticipation. Maya's words still echoed in my mind. We had a plan to tap into Aethereia's energy signature, harnessing the planet's power to stop the devouring. But at what cost? The stakes had never been higher. Suddenly, Kale's console beeped, and he turned to us with a grave expression. "Guys, I've hacked into Archon's systems. They've deployed a fleet of drones to intercept us. We're about to be ambushed." The team's eyes locked onto mine, and I knew we had to act fast. "Erebus, can you take point on defense? Vega, get us out of here now." Erebus nodded, his hands flying across his console as Vega expertly navigated our ship through the incoming swarm of drones. The air shook with the sound of laser blasts and explosions, but we pushed on, undeterred. As we cleared the ambush, the rift site came into view. A swirling vortex of energy pulsed before us, its power coursing through the air like a living entity. Maya's eyes sparkled with a mix of excitement and trepidation as she gazed upon the rift. "We're here," she whispered. "This is it." I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the unknown. "Let's do this, team. Let's harness the power of Aethereia and take back our planet." With a deep breath, I stepped out of the ship, the rift's energy washing over me like a wave. The air crackled with anticipation as I raised my hands, feeling the planet's power coursing through my veins. And then, everything went white. When my vision cleared, I found myself standing in a strange, ancient structure, the walls covered in cryptic symbols and artifacts. Maya stood beside me, her eyes wide with wonder. "Where are we?" I whispered, my mind reeling from the sudden transition. Maya's gaze roamed the chamber, her expression a mix of awe and trepidation. "This is the heart of Aethereia, an ancient temple hidden deep beneath the planet's surface. The rebels were right, this is where we'll find the secrets to harnessing Aethereia's power." But as we delved deeper into the temple, we realized that we were not alone. A figure emerged from the shadows, its eyes blazing with an otherworldly intensity. "Welcome, Alex," the figure spoke, its voice like thunder in my mind. "I am Archaea, the guardian of Aethereia's secrets. You have come to claim the power of the planet, but do you have the heart to wield it?" I stood tall, my determination burning brighter than ever. "I'm not just fighting for Aethereia's survival, I'm fighting for its very soul. I'll do whatever it takes to save this planet." Archaea's gaze pierced through me, but I held firm, my conviction unwavering. And in that moment, I knew that I was ready to face whatever lay ahead, no matter the cost previously. Alex and his team received a dire warning from Aethereia's resistance, revealing that Archon's environmental manipulations had triggered a catastrophic tipping point, threatening to destroy the planet's fragile ecosystem within weeks. As they embarked on a daring mission to prevent ecological disaster and dismantle Archon's grip on Aethereia, they harnessed the planet's power and found themselves in the ancient heart of Aethereia Temple, where they encountered Archaea, the guardian of Aethereia's secrets. As Archaea's piercing gaze lingered on me, I felt an unsettling sense of being judged, weighed, and measured. The air in the temple seemed to vibrate with anticipation, as if the very fate of Aethereia hung in the balance. "I sense your conviction, Alex," Archaea spoke, its voice like a gentle breeze on a summer day, yet carrying the weight of eons. But do you truly comprehend the magnitude of the power you seek to wield? The burden it brings, the responsibility, the cost. I stood tall, meeting Archaea's gaze head-on. I understand that the power of Aethereia comes with a great burden, but am willing to bear it, to do whatever it takes to save this planet and its people. Archaea's expression remained unreadable, yet its eyes seemed to bore deeper into my soul. Then let us begin the trials, Alex. Prove your worthiness to wield the power of Aethereia. With that, the temple began to shift and change around us. Walls slid apart, revealing hidden chambers and ancient artifacts. Maya's eyes sparkled with wonder as she gazed upon the relics, her mind racing with the secrets they held. The trials will test your resolve, your compassion, and your strength, Archaea announced, its voice echoing through the temple. You must face the shadows within and without. Are you prepared, Alex? I steeled myself for the unknown, sensing that the trials would push me to the limits of my being. Am ready, Archaea. I'll face whatever lies ahead for Aethereia's sake. As I spoke, the temple fell silent, the air heavy with anticipation. And then, without warning, the chamber was plunged into darkness, the only sound the heavy beating of my own heart. When the light returned, I found myself standing in a desolate wasteland, the sky a deep, foreboding crimson. The air was thick with the stench of decay, and the ground seemed to writhe beneath my feet like a living thing. Welcome to the Shadowlands, a low, raspy voice whispered in my ear. Here your deepest fears will come to life. Will you emerge victorious, or will you succumb to the darkness that haunts you? I drew a deep breath, the trials ahead of me like an unforgiving gauntlet. I knew that I had to face my own demons, to confront the shadows that lurked within. For Aethereia's sake, I had to emerge victorious. With a fierce determination burning in my heart, I stepped forward into the unknown previously. Alex and his team entered the heart of Aethereia Temple, seeking to unlock the planet's ancient secrets and master the device that could save Aethereia from ecological disaster. They met Archaea, the guardian of Aethereia's secrets, who presented Alex with a series of trials to prove his worthiness to wield the planet's power. As I ventured deeper into the Shadowlands, the crimson sky seemed to suffocate me, weighing heavy on my shoulders. The ground beneath my feet grew more treacherous, like a living entity twisting and writhing in agony. I forced myself to move forward, my senses on high alert as whispers and wails echoed through the desolate landscape. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the darkness. Her eyes were sunken, her skin pale and decaying, with dark veins snaking across her face like a macabre web. I recognized the face, yet couldn't place it. "Who are you?" I demanded, trying to keep my voice steady. The figure took a step closer, its eyes fixed on mine with an unsettling intensity. "I am the reflection of your greatest fear, Alex, the face of those you've failed to save." A wave of emotions crashed over me as I realized who this apparition was, the embodiment of my guilt and responsibility for the countless lives lost during our battles against Archon. "You're Lyra," I whispered, my heart heavy with sorrow. The apparition's face contorted in a twisted smile. "I am the sum of your failures, Alex, and you will never be able to save me, no matter how hard you try." With that, Lyra's apparition vanished, leaving me shaken but resolute. I knew that I had to push forward, to face the shadows within and without, if I was to have any hope of redeeming myself and saving Aethereia. As I continued through the Shadowlands, the trials only grew more daunting. I encountered illusions of my fallen comrades, their ghosts accusing me of abandoning them. I fought against twisted versions of Thrakos, their eyes blazing with an unnatural fury. With every challenge, I was forced to confront the darkest aspects of myself, to question whether I was truly worthy of wielding Aethereia's power. But I refused to give in. I drew upon the lessons I had learned from Maya, Aaron, and the rebels, the value of compassion, the strength of unity, and the importance of forgiveness. Slowly, I began to unravel the tangled web of my own fears and doubts, slowly uncovering the truth about myself and my place in this struggle. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I emerged from the Shadowlands. the crimson sky giving way to a radiant dawn. I stood before Aethereia once more, my heart heavy with the weight of my trials but also filled with a sense of purpose. "Have you faced the shadows within?" Aethereia asked, its eyes probing mine. I nodded, my voice steady. "I have, Aethereia, and I've emerged stronger, more resolved than ever to save Aethereia and its people." Aethereia's expression remained enigmatic, but I sensed a hint of approval. "Then let us proceed to the next trial, Alex. For Aethereia's sake, you must master the heart of the planet." With that, the temple began to shift and change once more, revealing a pathway that led deeper into the heart of Aethereia. I steeled myself for the unknown, knowing that the trials ahead would only grow more formidable. But I was ready, for I had finally found my inner strength, my conviction, and my purpose previously. Alex navigated the treacherous shadowlands, confronting his deepest fears and guilt, and emerging stronger and more resolute than ever to save Aethereia and its people. He stood ready to face the next trial, determined to master the heart of the planet and unlock its secrets. As I ventured down the pathway, the air vibrated with an otherworldly energy, and the walls of the temple seemed to pulse with a rhythmic power. I could feel the power of Aethereia coursing through my veins, calling to me, guiding me towards the heart of the planet. Suddenly, the pathway gave way to a vast, crystalline chamber, and in the center of it I saw the heart of Aethereia, a glowing, iridescent orb that pulsed with an intense, planet-scale energy. But I wasn't alone. A figure emerged from the shadows, its eyes fixed on the heart of Aethereia with an unsettling intensity. It was Thrakos, its expression twisted in a mixture of fascination and hunger. "You'll never master the heart, Alex," it sneered. "You're not worthy of wielding such power." I stood tall, my determination and conviction burning brighter than ever. "I've come too far to turn back now, Thrakos. I'll prove myself worthy of this power, and I'll use it to save Aethereia from your master's destruction." Thrakos snarled, its eyes flashing with anger, and with a swift motion, it drew its blade. The air was electric with tension as we faced off, our blades locked in a fierce stalemate. The heart of Aethereia pulsed with energy, urging me on, and with a burst of strength I shoved Thrakos back, creating a window of opportunity. With a deep breath, I reached out and my hand closed around the heart of Aethereia. The energy surged through me, a torrent of power that threatened to consume me whole. I felt the weight of Aethereia's fate on my shoulders, and with a fierce cry, I channeled the energy, unleashing a blast of power that sent Thrakos flying across the chamber. As the dust settled, I stood victorious, the heart of Aethereia still pulsing with energy in my hand. But I knew that this was only the beginning. I had to master this power to learn how to wield it without losing myself to its intensity. And I had to do it fast, for Archon's grip on Aethereia was tightening, and the planet's ecosystem was on the brink of collapse. I turned to Aethereia, my eyes locked on its enigmatic expression. "I've passed the trials," I said, my voice steady. "What's the next step? How do I master this power and save Aethereia?" Aethereia's expression remained cryptic, but its voice was laced with a hint of urgency. "The time for words is over, Alex. The time for action has begun. You must journey to the ancient city of Aethereia, where the secrets of Lyra's biotechnology await. There, you'll find the key to mastering the heart of Aethereia, and the power to save this planet." With that, the temple began to shift and change once more, revealing a path that led out into the unknown. I steeled myself for the journey ahead, knowing that the stakes had never been higher, and that the fate of Aethereia hung precariously in the balance previously. Alex emerged victorious from the trials, claiming the heart of Aethereia and unlocking the secrets of Lyra's biotechnology. But with Thrakos defeated and Archon's grip on Aethereia tightening, Alex must journey to the ancient city of Aethereia to master the heart's power and save the planet from ecological collapse. As I stood at the threshold of the temple, the pulsing energy of the heart of Aethereia still resonating within me, I felt an unsettling sense of unease. The weight of my new responsibility threatened to crush me, and the clock was ticking. Archon's environmental manipulations had pushed Aethereia to the brink of disaster, and I was the only one who could stop it. I turned to Archaea, my determination burning brighter with every passing moment. "I'm ready to face whatever lies ahead. Lead me to Aethereia." Archaea's enigmatic expression remained unchanged, but its voice was laced with a hint of urgency. "The path to Aethereia is treacherous, Alex. You'll need to navigate the Shadowlands once more, avoiding Thrakos' relentless pursuit and the deadly creatures that lurk in the darkness." I steeled myself for the journey ahead, knowing that every moment counted. With a deep breath, I set off into the unknown, the heart of Aethereia guiding me towards the ancient city of Aethereia. As I ventured deeper into the Shadowlands, the air grew thick with an eerie, unnatural silence. The shadows seemed to writhe and twist around me as if alive, and I knew I was being watched. I drew my blade, its familiar weight a comfort in the face of the unknown. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the darkness, its features illuminated by the faint, flickering light of luminescent mushrooms. It was Kale, the rebel leader, his eyes burning with a fierce determination. "Alex, I've been tracking you," he said, his voice low and urgent. "We need to talk. Archon's grip on Aethereia is tightening and we're running out of time." I sheathed my blade, my heart racing with anticipation. "What do you know, Kale? What secrets can you share?" Kale's expression was grim. "I've discovered the location of an ancient artifact hidden deep within the ruins of Aethereia. It's a relic of Lyra's biotechnology, one that holds the key to mastering the heart of Aethereia. But we'll need to move fast, Alex. Thrakos is closing in, and Archon's forces are mobilizing for a final assault." I felt a surge of adrenaline, my determination to save Aethereia burning brighter than ever. "Let's do it, Kale. We'll retrieve the artifact, master the heart's power, and shatter Archon's stronghold once and for all." With Kale by my side, I set off towards the ancient city of Aethereia, ready to face whatever dangers lay ahead. The fate of Aethereia hung in the balance, and I was the only one who could tip the scales previously. Alex discovered the location of an ancient artifact in Aethereia, a relic of Lyra's biotechnology that holds the key to mastering the heart of Aethereia. With Kale by his side, Alex must navigate the treacherous ruins of Aethereia, avoiding Thrakos' relentless pursuit and Archon's forces, to retrieve the artifact and unlock the secrets of the heart. As we descended into the heart of Aethereia, the air grew thick with the whispers of the ancients. Kale and I moved stealthily, our footsteps muffled by the soft, dusty earth. The ruins loomed before us, a labyrinth of crumbling structures and twisted metal, shrouded in an otherworldly mist. Suddenly, a faint hum echoed through the desolate landscape, growing louder with each passing moment. I exchanged a wary glance with Kale, my grip on the heart of Aethereia tightening. We were not alone. A swarm of Archon's mechanical spiders emerged from the mist, their glowing red eyes fixed on us. Kale drew his blade, its blue-white light illuminating the dark, while I summoned the heart's energy, channeling it into a swirling vortex of light. The battle was intense, the mechanical spiders relentless in their pursuit. But with the heart's power coursing through me, I felt an unprecedented level of control, guiding the vortex with precision to deflect the spiders' attacks. Kale fought with precision, taking down the spiders with swift, deadly strikes. As the last spider fell, we stood victorious, the silence that followed punctuated only by the distant rumble of Archon's machinery. Kale approached me, his eyes locked on the heart of Aethereia. "We need to find that artifact, Alex," he said, his voice urgent. "The longer we wait, the closer Archon gets to crushing Aethereia's ecosystem." I nodded, my determination burning brighter than ever. "Let's move, Kale. The artifact is our only hope." Deeper into the ruins, we discovered a hidden chamber, its walls adorned with ancient hieroglyphs that told the story of Lyra's biotechnology. And there, at the heart of the chamber, stood the artifact, a glowing crystal orb that pulsed with an energy identical to the heart of Aethereia. I reached out, my hand trembling with anticipation, as Kale watched with a mixture of awe and trepidation. The orb's energy resonated with mine, and suddenly, visions flooded my mind: ancient knowledge, forgotten secrets, and the true potential of Lyra's biotechnology. But as I grasped the orb, a cold, calculated voice echoed through the chamber, sending shivers down my spine. "Alex, you're too late," Thrakos sneered, emerging from the shadows, his eyes burning with malevolence. "Archon's forces have breached the rebel stronghold. Aethereia's rebels are no more, and with them, the last hope for this planet's survival." I felt a wave of rage wash over me, the heart of Aethereia pulsing with renewed energy. "You're lying, Thrakos," I spat. "We'll find a way to stop Archon, no matter what it takes." Thrakos laughed, the sound sending a chill down my spine. "You're no match for Archon's power, Alex, but I'll give you credit: you're a worthy adversary, and I'll enjoy watching you fall one last time." With a snarl, Thrakos vanished, leaving us to face the ruins of Aethereia, the artifact's power coursing through me, and the fate of Aethereia hanging precariously in the balance previously. Alex discovered the ancient artifact in Aethereia, a relic of Lyra's biotechnology that holds the key to mastering the heart of Aethereia. With Thrakos' ominous declaration that Archon's forces have breached the rebel stronghold, Alex and Kale must navigate the treacherous landscape to find the last remnants of Aethereia's resistance and prevent ecological disaster. As I stood frozen in anger, the artifact's energy coursing through me like a wildfire, Kale's hand on my shoulder snapped me back to reality. "Alex, we need to move. Now." His eyes locked onto mine, and I knew he was right. We couldn't let Thrakos' words defeat us. With the artifact in hand, we set out to find the rebels, our path fraught with danger. Archon's forces patrolled the skies, and we knew that one misstep would mean capture or worse. As we traversed the desolate landscape, the artifact's energy guided us, leading us to a hidden underground bunker, the last bastion of Aethereia's resistance. Inside, we found a small group of rebels, battered and bruised but unbroken. Their leader, a grizzled warrior named Aaron, greeted us with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. "You're Alex, the one who's been making waves against Archon," she said, her eyes narrowing. "What makes you think you can help us?" I held up the artifact, its power coursing through me. "This is the key to stopping Archon. With Lyra's biotechnology, we can restore Aethereia's ecosystem and bring hope back to this planet." Aaron's expression softened, and she nodded. "We've been searching for a way to counter Archon's environmental manipulations. If your plan works, we'll support you." As we forged an unlikely alliance, I realized that our mission had just become more complex. We needed to not only master the heart of Aethereia, but also understand the ancient artifacts tied to Lyra's biotechnology. The rebels possessed crucial knowledge of Aethereia's hidden energy signature, which would be essential in unlocking the device's true potential. The stakes were higher than ever, but with the rebels by our side, I felt a glimmer of hope. We divided our tasks, with Kale and Aaron leading a team to gather resources and intel, while I delved deeper into the artifact's secrets, determined to master Lyra's biotechnology. As I pored over ancient texts and studied the artifact, visions of Aethereia's past flooded my mind. I saw Lyra, the brilliant scientist, working tirelessly to create a device that would bring balance to the planet's fragile ecosystem. I saw the heart of Aethereia, a marvel of technology that could harness the planet's energy and restore balance. But I also saw the darker side of Lyra's creation, the catastrophic consequences of mishandling the device's power. I began to understand the weight of my responsibility, the burden of wielding a planet-scale device that could either save or destroy Aethereia. The more I learned, the more I realized that our mission was not just about stopping Archon, but about redeeming the mistakes of the past. I knew that I had to confront the ethics of wielding such immense power and face the internal power struggles that threatened to tear our team apart. As we embarked on this perilous path, I knew that the fate of Aethereia hung precariously in the balance. But with the rebels by my side, I felt a sense of determination and purpose. We would stop at nothing to save this planet and bring hope back to its people previously. Alex discovered the ancient artifact in Aethereia, a relic of Lyra's biotechnology that holds the key to mastering the heart of Aethereia. With Thrakos' ominous declaration that Archon's forces have breached the rebel stronghold, Alex and Kale must navigate the treacherous landscape to find the last remnants of Aethereia's resistance and prevent ecological disaster. As I delved deeper into the artifact's secrets, the visions of Aethereia's past intensified, and I began to see glimpses of a catastrophic future. I saw the once blue skies turn a toxic shade of green, the oceans churning with acid and the land scorched dry. The weight of my responsibility crushed me, but I knew I had to press on. "Alex, we've made contact with a rebel cell in the north," Kale whispered, his voice urgent. "They claim to have information about Archon's plans to harness the planet's energy. We need to move now." I nodded, my heart racing. This could be the break we needed to stop Archon's environmental manipulations. I gathered my gear, the artifacts secure in my pack, and followed Kale into the unknown. Our journey took us through ravaged landscapes, avoiding Thrakos patrols and navigating treacherous terrain. We encountered roving gangs of scavengers, desperate for resources in a world teetering on the brink of collapse. I witnessed unspeakable horrors, families torn apart, children orphaned, and the elderly left to suffer. But amidst the chaos, I found beacons of hope. We encountered small pockets of rebels, fighting against all odds to reclaim their world. They shared stories of resistance, of defying Archon's rule, and of holding on to hope in the darkest of times. As we neared the rebel cell, I sensed a change in the air. The artifact's energy pulsed stronger, guiding me toward the hidden stronghold. We were met with a mix of suspicion and curiosity, but I knew we were one step closer to stopping Archon. The rebel leader, a young woman named Mira, greeted us with a fierce determination in her eyes. "We've been tracking Archon's plans to harness the planet's energy," she said, her voice laced with urgency. "They're building a massive energy harvester in the heart of the planet's most volatile region, the Maelstrom Range." My heart sank. The Maelstrom Range was notorious for its treacherous landscapes and unpredictable energy fluxes. If Archon succeeded in harnessing that energy, it would spell disaster for Aethereia. "We need to stop them," I said, my voice resolute. "We can't let Archon destroy this planet." Mira nodded, a fierce grin spreading across her face. "We've been waiting for someone with your determination, Alex. Together, we'll take down Archon and restore balance to Aethereia." With newfound allies by my side, I felt a sense of hope I hadn't felt in months. We had a long, perilous road ahead, but I knew that together, we could achieve the impossible. The fate of Aethereia hung precariously in the balance, but I was ready to risk everything to save it previously. The cryptic message from Aethereia's resistance revealed that Archon's environmental manipulations have triggered a catastrophic tipping point, threatening to destroy the planet's fragile ecosystem within weeks. Alex, determined to prevent ecological disaster and dismantle Archon's grip on Aethereia, galvanizes his team to execute a series of high-stakes operations. As we set out to infiltrate the Maelstrom Range, the weight of our mission hung heavy over us. We had to stop Archon from harnessing the planet's energy, no matter the cost. Mira and her rebels provided us with crucial intel, guiding us through the treacherous landscape. We navigated toxic swamps, acid rainstorms, and treacherous canyons, always staying one step ahead of Thrakos' patrols. The artifact, now attuned to my biotechnology, pulsed with an otherworldly energy. I could feel Lyra's presence within me, guiding me toward the heart of Aethereia. The visions of the past grew clearer, and I began to understand the true extent of Archon's manipulation. "We're close," Mira whispered, her eyes fixed on the horizon. "The energy harvester is just ahead. Be prepared for anything." As we emerged from the canyon, the harvester's imposing structure loomed before us. Archon's forces swarmed around it, heavily armed and fortified. I felt a surge of adrenaline, my heart pounding in my chest. "All right, team," I said, my voice steady. "We have one shot at this. Let's make it count." With a deep breath, we charged into battle. The fight was intense, with laser blasts and explosions erupting around us. Kale fought with precision, taking down Thrakos' soldiers with ease. Mira and her rebels fought with ferocity, determined to reclaim their world. I wielded the artifact's power, harnessing its energy to disable the Harvester's defenses. As we broke through the perimeter, I faced off against Thrakos himself. His eyes burned with fury, but I stood tall, my determination unwavering. "This ends now," I said, my voice echoing across the battlefield. "You've brought Aethereia to the brink of collapse. It's time to pay the price." With a burst of energy, I unleashed the artifact's full power. The Harvester's structure groaned, its foundations shaking. Thrakos stumbled back, his eyes wide with surprise. "No, this can't be," he stammered. "You're just a rebel, a nobody." "I'm the one who's going to save this planet," I said, my voice firm. "And you're the one who's going to pay for your crimes." With a final blast of energy, the Harvester collapsed, its destruction sending shockwaves across the planet. Archon's forces began to falter, their grip on Aethereia finally loosening. As the dust settled, I stood victorious, the artifact's energy coursing through me. I felt Lyra's presence, her spirit finally at peace. I looked out upon the ravaged landscape, knowing that our work was far from over. But for the first time in months, I felt a sense of hope, a sense of redemption. The rebels cheered, their voices echoing across the wasteland. Kale clapped me on the back, a proud smile on his face. Mira approached me, her eyes shining with gratitude. "Thank you, Alex," she said, her voice trembling. "You've given us a second chance." I smiled, feeling a sense of pride, of belonging. I knew that I had found my true purpose: to protect this planet, to defend its people, and to bring hope to a world on the brink of collapse. As we walked away from the ruins of the Harvester, I gazed up at the sky. The once toxic clouds were beginning to clear, the sun breaking through the haze. Aethereia was reborn, its future uncertain but full of promise. In the weeks that followed, we worked tirelessly to rebuild and restore the planet's ecosystem. The rebels, now united under Mira's leadership, fought to reclaim their world. I used the artifact's power to heal the planet, to bring life back to the ravaged landscapes. And as Aethereia began to flourish once more, I knew that my journey was far from over. I had become a visionary leader, a champion of hope and redemption. I had unlocked a brighter destiny for Aethereia and its people, and I was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the distance, I saw the horizon stretching out before me, a beacon of possibility and promise. I smiled, feeling the wind in my hair, the sun on my face. I knew that I had finally found my true home on Aethereia, among its people and in the heart of the planet itself. Epilogue. Years later, as I looked out upon the thriving planet, I knew that our journey was far from over. Aethereia had become a beacon of hope, a symbol of redemption in a galaxy torn apart by conflict and destruction. I had become a legendary figure, a hero to the people of Aethereia. But I knew that there were still worlds to save, still battles to fight. I gazed up at the stars, feeling the familiar thrum of the artifact's energy within me. Lyra's spirit still guided me, her presence a reminder of the power and the responsibility that lay within me. I smiled, knowing that the journey ahead would be long and arduous, but I was ready. I was Alex, the savior of Aethereia, and I would not rest until the galaxy was at peace.